Have you ever felt like the deeper you think, the more isolated you become? It's not just you. Throughout history, society has often resisted intellectuals, not because they were wrong, but because their ideas challenged the comfort of established beliefs. From Socrates to Galileo and Nietzsche to Tesla, great thinkers have faced ridicule or even punishment, not for lacking intelligence, but because they made people confront uncomfortable truths. Arthur Schopenhauer argued that intelligence is a curse, one that isolates those who see the world too clearly. But why does society reject those who think deeply? The answer lies in human psychology. When people encounter someone more physically powerful or wealthy, they might feel envious but don't necessarily feel threatened. However, when someone is intellectually superior, it triggers discomfort. This is called the mirror effect. The presence of a deep thinker reflects the limitations of others, making them feel inadequate. Why is this the case? Intelligence, unlike wealth or strength, is tied to one's sense of identity. When someone challenges existing ideas, it doesn't just threaten their beliefs, it attacks their ego. Deep thinkers don't just introduce new thoughts, they force others to see their own limitations, something most people would rather avoid. This explains why intellectuals are often marginalized. Their thoughts don't only challenge concepts, they challenge egos. Humans naturally resist discomfort, especially when it involves confronting their own shortcomings. The deeper someone thinks, the more society tends to isolate them. Have you ever tried to introduce a complex idea only to be met with silence or awkwardness? This reaction is a defense mechanism. People often resist deep thinkers because their intellect forces others to feel inferior. Instead of being curious, people dismiss or even avoid engaging with those who make them uncomfortable. Studies show that confidence is often valued more than intelligence in social settings. People gravitate towards certainty, even if it's based on shallow thinking. Charismatic figures with simple ideas tend to gain more influence than nuanced intellectuals who challenge others to think critically. This paradox is evident in history. Those who think deeply are often sidelined, not because of their ideas, but because their intelligence threatens the social order. Social media has intensified this rejection. Algorithms favor emotionally charged content over thoughtful discourse, meaning shallow, viral ideas spread faster than deep, intellectual insights. Why does intelligence provoke such discomfort? Neuroscience offers clues. When people feel intellectually inferior, their brain's amygdala, responsible for detecting threats, becomes active. This suggests that, evolutionary-wise, humans have been conditioned to prioritize social acceptance over intellectual growth. Being rejected by the group could once mean death, so our brains protect us from anything that challenges our status. This creates a deep disconnect between deep thinkers and society. In social groups, intelligence doesn't just stir ideas, it disrupts the balance, triggering primal fear responses. Studies show that in group settings, people feel more threatened by intellectuals. They don't just fear being wrong, they fear being seen as inferior. Cognitive biases like the Dunning-Kruger effect, where less knowledgeable people overestimate their abilities, further fuel resistance. People with lower abilities often dismiss those who challenge their worldview. Another bias, status quo bias, makes people favor familiar ideas over new ones. This leads to a vicious cycle where new ideas are rejected, even when they hold value. Schopenhauer's philosophy proposed that intelligence, rather than being a gift, is a burden. While many thinkers see intelligence as the path to success, Schopenhauer argued it often leads to isolation. People who think deeply are more aware of life's complexities, and that awareness can make them feel disconnected from others, who often seek comfort in ignorance. Schopenhauer believed that intelligence and happiness are inversely related. The smarter you are, the harder it is to find peace in a world filled with superficial distractions. This explains why many deep thinkers have struggled with depression or existential crises. They see through the lies and deceptions others are content to live by. So, if society rejects deep thinkers, what does it value? Comfort. People want predictability, safety, and simple pleasures, not the discomfort of confronting the truth. Schopenhauer argued that while intelligence leads to isolation, it also offers freedom. Freedom to see the world as it truly is, no matter how painful that might be. In the face of this, deep thinkers need to understand that their isolation isn't a reflection of their worth. Society may reject them, but it's their ideas that push humanity forward. The true value of deep thinking lies in its ability to expose uncomfortable truths and change the world.